back to Blackgirlcinema. It's your resident black girl here, Odie, and today we're going to be talking about the 1994 Spike Lee directed black cinema classic, Crooklyn. So this is a coming-of-age story about 9-year-old Troy Carmichael, who was played by Zelda Harris. Now this story is actually inspired by Spike Lee's sister, Joie Lee, whom you must have seen in pretty much, all of Spike Lee's films, including this one where she plays Aunt Maxine. Now, Joie Lee herself was the only girl in a family of 4 boys with a musician and a school teacher for parents. And Joie Lee is actually the screenwriter for this film. Now on to our characters. We have Delroy Lindo, who's playing Woody Carmichael, who was a struggling musician and dad, full of love but a little bit short on the cash side. We have Alfre Woodard, who plays Carolyn Carmichael, who is a loving and hardworking teacher and mom, trying to keep up with all of her kids and all of their money issues. We have cameos from Isaiah Washington as Vic Powell, a war veteran who looks out for the kids from time to time, and he also shares a brownstone with the Carmichaels. We have RuPaul as the hot thing of the corner store worker. We have Spike Lee, who is Snuffy, a neighborhood junkie that terrorizes the kids from time to time to try to get some money. And last but not least, we have an appearance from Bokeem Woodbine. And you already know what that means. Blackgirlcinema classic. Any film with Bokeem Woodbine means it's a black classic. Now let's talk a little bit about the plot. We follow Troy, a 9-year-old girl in a family of 4 boys and a dog growing up in Brooklyn in the early 70s. The opening scene of this film has to be one of my favorites. We have the stylistics, People Make the World Go Round song playing in the background as we're giving a look at Bed-Stuy, summer 1973. We had the kids playing the games, the classic 70s games, hearing the cheers, and you see all kinds of different neighborhood calamity going on as we come down and we center in on our protagonist, Troy. Now throughout the film, you're going to see Troy getting picked on by her brothers, by the neighborhood girls, because of her hairstyles, and also a little boy who teases her for one reason or another, and she teases him back about being on welfare even though her family benefits from the food stamps from time to time. Now the Carmichaels' neighborhood is full of a bunch of characters, so there is never a dull moment. Noticing the stress that her daughter endures in the summer in Brooklyn at home with her brothers, Carolyn suggests maybe you should go down south. They aren't specific as to where it is exactly she's going, but we know that she's going to go stay with her Aunt Song and her adopted cousin Viola. So later on, while Troy's picking up some candy from the corner store, Troy becomes like entranced when she sees the corner store worker and his girlfriend, RuPaul, as they're dancing to the song, I never go back to Georgia. I never go back to Georgia. Anyway, so that song is playing, and I think this is actually a pivotal moment in the plot of this story, because it's like Troy's becoming curious. She's looking at how feminine, RuPaul is and how in control she is, and she's stuck on the image of the two of them. Or maybe it's just RuPaul. I don't know. But I feel like at that time, Troy is considering becoming a woman. She's considering growing up. She's considering all of these different things. Now, the thought process, coupled with the song about Georgia, to me, that was foreshadowing to what is going to happen at the end of the film. Now, her trip down south to Georgia, I'm presuming, is what made her realize a lot of things about mothers, about daughters, and about who women are in general. All because she got to get away from the noise, got to get away from her brothers, and be in the South, be somewhere different for a little while. So much so that she realized a lot of things about her mom, so by the end of the movie, she's able to take on in her place. Now this is a film that a lot of people always reference for the funny parts, but there are actually a whole lot of touching and emotional and eye-opening moments throughout this film. So much so that I personally try to avoid watching it because it does make me cry. One thing I love about Spike Lee is his ability to capture the scene in every story that he tells. Granted, he gets a little bit of a one-up for this one because it actually is his childhood, but still, he did a really great job at making a film from 1994 look and feel like 1973. Also, the soundtrack of this film is amazing. It's 2 parts and it has all the classic 70s jams. Y'all have to listen to it. Now, I have not loved every single one of Spike Lee's movies, and I've referenced so on my very first review on this channel. but Spike Lee has been making films and documentaries since 1979. And to me, he is somebody who is totally and completely unapologetic about what he does. Even his films that everybody hates, he's still proud of them. I give him a lot of props for that. Spike Lee often tells some untold or overlooked stories in a way that makes you want to gain knowledge about what exactly he was trying to get across. And he uses so many literary devices and techniques, and he presents stories in a way that gives it a touch of theater genius. Now, every director is a storyteller, and for me, Spike Lee's way of telling stories is just one of my favorites. Now with Crooklyn, Spike Lee shows a really honest look at how it was for some families in the 70s. So all the 70s references, the old games, the slang, the music, everything is reminiscent of my childhood, even though it isn't actually my childhood. This is certainly what I would call a black girl coming of age movie. This film shows the struggles of an inner city family going through a whole lot of changes. And you know, I really feel for Carolyn and Woody's love story. It's like they fell in love at a young age, and you know, he was a musician and they were just getting by, and then next thing you know, 1 baby, 2 baby, 4, 5 babies later, you realize, oh, I can't work for nobody anymore, babe. I need my music. I need my music. Meanwhile, Carolyn is just trying to keep a roof over the kids' heads. The frustration that Carolyn and Woody endure in this film just shows why a lot of black kids had a rough childhood or got such harsh punishment at times. It's not that there's an excuse for it, but Carolyn and Woody were under a whole lot of pressure, and it came out in the ways that it did. And not to bring this review down, but Crooklyn is just one of those films that a lot of people talk about the funny parts, but not necessarily the meaning and what's great about it. Now, I'm not sure what the score for this film is on Rotten Tomatoes, but I know for sure, to me, this is a black cinema classic. I mean, from the 70s references, from the great directing of Spike Lee, it being autobiographical in some sense, the great characters, I mean, funny moments. You got Bokeem Woodbine, you got RuPaul. I mean, it's all kind of, I mean, Alfre Woodard, what's his name? Alfre Woodard, the other guy. It's a classic, y'all. So for those of you who have seen Crooklyn, I would love to know what your favorite part is. If you hated the movie, if you don't think it's good, let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Blackgirlcinema, and I will see you guys next time. Same place, different time, y'all know I be tripping. Bye!